In Time Cut, Lucy travels back in time to save her sister, Summer, and 3 others from a serial killer called the Sweetly Slasher. Despite her efforts, her initial attempt fails, resulting in the deaths of 3 people. Realizing that killing the serial killer is the only way to save lives, Lucy embarks on a mission to uncover his identity, which leads to a shocking revelation that particularly affects Quinn. Aware that the serial killer would target Summer at the barn during the party, Summer, Lucy, and Quinn devise a plan to capture him. Lucy and Quinn head to SONR to retrieve rubidium for the time machine, only to find that the killer has already stolen 2 from the stock, indicating his knowledge of their actions. Upon arriving at the barn, they discover that the killer has already captured Summer, but Quinn manages to hit him with his car. Despite initial relief, the killer reveals himself to be Quinn from the future, shocking both Lucy and Quinn. The future Quinn explains that his transformation into a serial killer was a result of the changes in the timeline caused by Lucy's presence. In the original timeline, Quinn was thrown into the river by bullies and ridiculed, leading him to kill the 3 individuals responsible. Quinn, a physics genius, held a grudge against Summer for laughing at him and attempted to kill her after she rejected his romantic advances. Consumed by anger and a desire for revenge, he constructed a time machine to travel back to the day of his humiliation and committed the murders. Despite his meticulous plan, he overlooked the possibility of Lucy, his former friend, accompanying him to the past, which ultimately led to unforeseen consequences. Lucy, Summer, and Quinn return to his lab, where they possess the time machine, after escaping the barn. The fact that it has served as both his laboratory and his future self makes Quinn anxious that he will be able to locate them. On the other hand, Lucy is relying on it. With the rubidium, she intends to activate the time machine and return to the past with Quinn. Future Quinn, as predicted, visits the lab and admits the motivations behind his murders. Quinn goes to extreme lengths, threatening to end his own life, in the hopes that this would put an end to any possibility of a future Quinn. But this isn't how time travel actually works, as future Quinn shows. Because all other options have been exhausted, sending him into the future is the only way to stop him. Thus, Lucy activates the time machine, sending herself and future Quinn rushing out of the lab as Summer and Quinn lock the door behind them. They end themselves in the year 2024. Lucy stabs future Quinn in the chest as he strikes her out of rage about being prevented from killing Summer and exacting his retribution. As a result, the string of murders finally ends with his passing. His 2003 death had 0 effect on young Quinn since he is Quinn in the future, or one of those variants. Even more crucially, Quinn has realized the gravity of his acts and has made a solemn vow to himself, Lucy, and Summer, above all else, that he will never again become the future Quinn. Indeed, things have changed drastically as a result of the events in his timeline. Both Quinn and future Quinn are drastically different characters because Quinn has never experienced the things that future Quinn did in his time frame. Because his bloodlust would have persisted anyhow, future Quinn's death was also crucial. He could construct the time machine once more since he had already done it before. He had rubidium on hand, and if he ever ran out, he could easily obtain more from SONR or another source. After all, he was far more knowledgeable about the matter than Lucy and her companions. Furthermore, Lucy would have been unable to turn him into the authorities due to the impossibility of establishing his guilt. Further complicating matters, Lucy is no longer meant to exist in the future as a result of the changes in the timeline. Therefore, Summer is safe from harm and can enjoy life to the fullest without fear of a serial killer pursuing her because future Quinn's death ends all these difficulties. Lucy's birth was a result of her parents' grief over the loss of her elder sister, Summer, who was murdered. By preventing Summer's death in 2003, Lucy inadvertently eliminates the reason for her own existence. Time travel, however, doesn't result in her immediate erasure from all timelines. Changing the past alters the future, creating a paradox without erasing its causes. The grandfather paradox illustrates this concept. If Lucy is never born, she can't stop future Quinn, leading to Summer's murder and her parents' attempts to have another child, resulting in Lucy's birth and the repeating cycle. This chaotic situation can be prevented with a single alteration, breaking the cycle. Lucy's time travel alters the past but doesn't erase it, creating a parallel universe where she never existed. Despite her absence in the 2024 timeline, she persists as a paradox due to the principle of matter conservation. Lucy, after experiencing a tumultuous 3 days of time travel, finds herself back in 2024, where her actions have erased her existence. She realizes the reason behind her parents' distant behavior lies in the loss of her elder sister. In 2003, when her sister was still alive, Lucy witnesses her parents' happiness and forms a bond with her sister, unlike in 2024, where she lived in her sister's shadow. She also connects with Quinn, an outcast like herself. Despite having to start over, Lucy chooses to remain in 2003, where she has a family, a friend, and a future filled with possibilities, unlike the desolate existence she faced in 2024.